guys, it's Dr. J.
And Dr. T.
And today we are talking about women's health with our women's wellness PowerPoint today. We are specifically going through women's stuff such as like hormones, sleeping better, things that affect your hormones, thyroid, menopause, things of that nature. And we will also be going through your immune system.
Bonus! So let's get started. First, we're going to talk about immune system and what exactly is your immune system?
So your immune system is not just one thing. It's actually comprised of multiple things. Things like your white blood cells, antibodies, the complement system, which is actually just a series of proteins that break down pathogens or bad things in the body. Your lymphatic system that carries actually white blood cells. Your organs such as your spleen and your thymus. And then bone marrow as well. So all of these things work together to actually kill bacteria, viruses, just bad things or pathogens that come into our body that aren't supposed to be there.
Our bodies are so amazing. Some things that I have in my immune boosting cabinet, not my medicine cabinet, my immune boosting cabinet would be vitamin C. Vitamin C is used for multiple things. When it comes to a cold or sickness, what it does is it neutralizes free radicals. Those are the things that cause inflammation, so it decreases inflammation. Women, it's also one of those things that I want to mention, helps with hair, skin, and nails because it helps your body produce even more collagen and also helps with your joints. Number 2, vitamin D. It's one of those best vitamins. It's probably one of my favorite vitamins because it does so many things in the body. It helps with your hormones. We'll dive deeper into that when we talk about thyroid. But when you're sick, it helps decrease the duration of your sickness, which is awesome. Colloidal silver is one of those things that I like to use only when I'm sick, and that is it's an antimicrobial, which means it helps kill things. It helps kill bacteria, viruses. We've seen a lot of kids use it, parents use it with their kids for ear infections. They just put a drop or two in their ears. I personally have used it for respiratory issues when I'm cold and you have that dry cough. It helps kill and decrease the inflammation in your bronchioles. Next is garlic. Garlic, literally the bulb of garlic. You can chop that thing up. We have it pictured in the slide here. You can chop it up. I like to add a little extra virgin olive oil in it and just eat it that way because it tones down the sharpness of the garlic. It's antibiotic, antifungal, and antibacterial. And the last one is ginger root. You could actually just make a tea out of this just by steeping some water, chop up and grate some ginger root in there to as much as you can handle. It's a little spicy. What it does is it helps with headaches and fevers. And the best thing that it does when you're sick is help with that sinus and congestion. Just breaks it up so you can get it out.
I love adding ginger to juicing. Super easy thing to do if you have a juicer.
Yes.
The next thing we have is the Nixon Gauntlet because this is a simple recipe that you guys can make at home. You can actually store it in the fridge and keep it there for a couple days. It has ginger in it and the garlic that we just talked about, but there's also coconut oil, and coconut oil has lauric acid in it, which can actually help break down cell walls of the bad pathogens in your body, which is pretty cool.
It also has cayenne pepper, which opens up your arteries, gets some good blood flow, eliminates waste. It also has lemon, which is high in vitamin C, which is awesome when you have a cold. Apple cider vinegar. We personally like the Bragg's brand. We know that it's a good brand. Raw honey, also something good for allergies and sinuses. Fresh grated ginger, which we talked about. You can either melt it, mix it all together, and drink it, or you can keep the coconut oil firmer, and I like to do it as a dip. I mix it all together and I dip cucumbers in it and eat it that way.
Yum. So some herbs that we wanted to mention as well that are really good to help boost your immune system are things like elderberry, again something that's higher in vitamin C that can help fight off things. There is also an herb called astragalus, which I believe is also really good for your respiratory system right now. So it's, again, another herb that you can get that's good for that. Cordyceps, I believe cordyceps is mushroom.
Mushrooms.
Yes, mushrooms. Mushrooms can be really great and beneficial for the immune system. But again, specifically cordyceps because it is good for the respiratory system, upper respiratory, I believe.
Manuka honey. Manuka honey is great for fighting any kind of infection. You can actually also use it on a cut if you have kids and fights infection that way as well. And golden seal. Golden seal is something that helps, is a great aid for your digestive system and also relieves symptoms when you have diarrhea or constipation. And it's great if you have a stuffy nose.
So we have this new supplement in the office. Oh, did I grab it, Dr. T?
Yep, it's right here.
It's called Immunotone Plus. It actually comes in this sweet little glass bottle. It has all those herbs that we just mentioned that are really great, again, at boosting your immune system, but it also has green tea extract in it as well, which is not only great for, again, boosting immune system, but is also really good for boosting your metabolism.
Green tea has something in it called catechins. Is that how you say it?
Catechins.
That is something that actually helps you break down unnecessary fat cells and increase your metabolism.
So the Immune Plus, just to let you guys know, that's the only one that we'll be talking about today that you can get in the office. That one's not sold online. The other thing that you can do to help make your immune system even stronger, so not only all the herbs that we just mentioned and all the different things like vitamins and supplements that you can start taking, but chiropractic care is really great at just overall helping the function of your body. Like that's the point of chiropractic care, is to be able to boost your body and help it function better than before you were getting adjusted.
So let's dive right into fatigue and all the things that are associated in fatigue. We hear people say all the time, I just want more energy, I want to lose weight, I don't sleep well. All these things are actually associated with things like thyroid illness as well. So in order to know what abnormal is, we have to know what normal is. So what happens in thyroid, normal operating thyroid, is your brain sends a signal to your thyroid through a hormone called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. And then your thyroid actually produces T4 cells. Those T4 cells are the inactive hormone of your thyroid, and then they are converted to T3 cells, which T3 cells are the active hormone of your thyroid. This is the gas of your metabolism. Did you know that every cell in your body actually has a receptor for T3 cells? So every cell in your body is open to metabolism. Mm-hmm. And then there's one more thing that isn't listed in the slide here. It's called reverse T3, and reverse T3 is the brakes of your metabolism. Mm-hmm. So T3 is the gas, and reverse T3 is the brakes.
You have hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid, and then there is hypothyroidism, which is underactive thyroid. Hypothyroid is a little bit more common in people, so that's what we're going to be hitting on today a little bit more. But some of the signs and symptoms and things like weakness and fatigue, cold intolerance, muscle aches and cramps, constipation, weight gain or difficulty losing weight, and then just a poor appetite overall.
Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans will get hypothyroid, will be diagnosed with hypothyroid, and 60% of Americans will have a thyroid condition. Also, levothyroxine is the 4th leading selling medication in America, and that just tells us that there's a lot of people with thyroid issues, but unfortunately, thyroid issues are still on the rise. So what are things we can do and be aware of before we get there? Where it went wrong is thyroid issue actually has a lot to do with autoimmunity, so starting in your gut. This is where we're looking to your diet. So we want to start avoiding dairy and grain and soy, caffeine products, alcohol, sugar is a huge one, processed foods, gluten. All these things can cause leaky gut. This is literally how it sounds. So what happens is you eat something that should be eliminated from your body, like gluten, and then when you have leaky gut, you actually reabsorb it back in your body, and your body tags it as an invader. It also has thyroid cells on it as well. So when that happens, gluten looks like your thyroid cells, your body actually starts attacking the gluten and then learns to attack your thyroid. This is where we get an autoimmune condition. Other things that can cause hypothyroid are heavy metal toxicity. You can see the mercury filling down the bottom. There are dental procedures where you don't have to get fillings with mercury anymore. And then nervous system. As Dr. J mentioned earlier, if you look at this x-ray in the neck on the top right, this is a neck that is pretty straight. What you want to see is a nice C-shaped curve in a neck. That is the buoyancy of our structure. You need that for your nerves exiting your neck to go to your thyroid. Your thyroid is positioned right here in the middle of your neck in the front. So the nerves that go to it come back here in the middle of your neck and come out and go and provide nerve flow to your thyroid. So what hypothyroid blood work would look like is this. I will first say that when you get blood work done, most doctors will test TSH, maybe T4, and that's it. But you really should get more comprehensive testing. So you should get TSH, T4, T3, reverse T3, and even an antibody test. An antibody test is something like TPO, and that is something that will tell us if it's starting from the gut. So what hypothyroid looks like is TSH could be low or normal, and then T4 will be low. Looks like our arrows are a little off here. We're sorry about that. And then T3 will be normal or low. So it's definitely important to get the whole picture. TSH, T4, T3, reverse T3, and then a TPO antibody test.
So some things that you can do to start helping your thyroid at home through nutrition, we think like eliminating caffeine, sugar, and gluten, as Dr. T will mention, I believe. Just getting rid of gluten will help tremendously. But we'll also eliminate things like soy because your body doesn't need the excessive soy. So like soy milk or tofu or these sorts of things will put excessive estrogen into your body, and we'll talk a little bit later about how estrogen will start to affect other areas of your body. And then what you'll want to do, though, is actually start adding in more healthy fats. So like the coconut oil that we mentioned earlier, that's really good with the lauric acid to help break down pathogens and boost your immune system. But you can also do nut butters, avocados, butter. I love butter. Nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These things are going to be great for adding or increasing healthy fats in your diet. And then just cleaning up your diet in general. So getting rid of a lot of the processed foods, like I mentioned, and decreasing like the amount of sugar intake, but increasing better nutrients for your body, like the healthy fats, getting in more fruits and vegetable whole foods as opposed to just the processed foods.
Absolutely. So what is gluten? I've been asked this a lot lately. Gluten is something that when you eat it, your body, over time, it will start to leak in your gut and come back into your body, and it'll be stored in your body. The thing is, gluten is something that looks like your thyroid cells. So that's why your body, when you eat gluten over time, will start to attack your thyroid. It's just a matter of time through blood testing that we find a thyroid issue. Gluten is, it's like the spongy part of the bread. Have you ever squished the bread and it's a little spongy? That's what gluten is. It's found in many sources. The ones listed here are the most common ones, but there are a lot of other sources. I encourage you to look up on the celiac's website. Some of them are wheat germ, rye, barley, couscous, graham flour. Examples of these in the grocery store when you're looking would be soups, boxed cereals, cold cuts. So the idea here, you're seeing a trend. All these things are found in the middle of the grocery store. You actually want to shop on the perimeter where all the natural and whole foods are. But there are things you can eat that aren't considered gluten, and that would be quinoa, rice, and even millet. So if you want more of a carbohydrate with your dinner, I would stick with quinoa, rice, and millet.
And also, just to let you guys know that we do a Trader Joe's food tour. Once every couple of months, Dr. T or myself or both of us will walk you through the store, again, teach you how to shop, read food labels to know what good things to put in your body and what not to put in your body.
Yeah, and how they don't sneak one by on you. Another gluten source, did you know, Dr. J, could be, if you're looking at the food label, if you read dextrin, not only can that mean sugar, but that also can mean gluten too. So we want to avoid something like that. Just a fun tidbit.
The next thing is selenium. Selenium is really great for your thyroid because it helps that conversion of the T4, which is your inactive hormone, thyroid hormone, to T3, which is your active thyroid hormone that you'll need for your metabolism and energy in your body. So selenium comes in Brazil nuts. You just need a small handful every single day to get the amount of selenium that you might need. You can also eat mushrooms. So we circled some mushrooms over there, but specifically,
cremini.
I was like, cremini.
Cremini.
Yep. That word.
And shiitake.
And then even eggs. I love some eggs. So eating eggs and the egg yolk.
Some hypothyroid supplements that we offer. I will say, we always say food first. So try the ones that we just listed, the nuts, the mushroom, cremini mushrooms. And then if you know and have had your blood work done and you know you have a thyroid issue, start supplementing. The hypothyroid supplement we offer is called Thyroid Plus. Thyroid Plus also has iodine in it. It has ginseng in it. that helps convert T3 to T4, as well as the Brazil nuts. And it also has selenium in it. The next thing is you want to start massaging frankincense oil on your thyroid. Remember, where's your thyroid? So tell them how to do it.
So you would just put a couple of drops of frankincense. I would recommend using a carrier oil, especially if your skin is sensitive. So something like coconut oil, or I think it's called jojoba oil, even though it's spelled with a J.
Jojoba oil.
Yes. You just mix that with a couple drops of frankincense, and then you would massage that into your thyroid for a few minutes every single day. And that massaging with the frankincense will, again, help release T4 and allow your body to convert it into T4.
We have an amazing story for you. This is Maria.
Oh.
Maria came in. Every time she would walk up steps, she'd have to stop and take a breath and breathe. She just couldn't breathe well. She had thyroid issues and autoimmunity, like we talked about. It goes hand in hand. Her numbers, she told me the other day, were off the top charts. Her TSH were in a level that her doctor even said, I haven't really seen it ever this high. And then she also had high blood pressure. So Maria started getting chiropractic care. She started changing her diet, doing an autoimmune protocol. What else did she?
She started doing a lot of the tips that we guys had already talked to you about. So changing her diet that way. And then I don't think she started exercising quite yet, but she did tell me the other day, wrong way, that she can run or walk up and down the steps without the breathing issues, but more importantly, also without joint pain. She feels a little bit younger. Her thyroid levels have really started to normal out, so lower. She's also lost 7 pounds in the past 2.5 to 3 weeks, I believe. And then she has more energy. She's sleeping better. She just overall is starting to feel younger, which is super amazing. She's doing so great. So Maria, we're super proud of you if you're watching this. But more importantly, we have celebrated Maria multiple times here in the office. I believe at least like 2 or 3 times we ring the bell, which is our celebration or our victory bell. And it's because we believe in changes. Even if it's small changes, we are going to ring the bell. And we love to celebrate with you guys any good news that is happening. So that's why you guys might hear the bell in the office every once in a while. Also, just if you guys want to tell us any good news that you have about your body change or anything like that, just let us know, because we're here for you and we love you guys and we want to celebrate with you the small victories.
Yes. Guys, this woman is reversing her thyroid. Yeah. Her numbers are normal, which means the medical community will recognize that as she reversed her autoimmunity, her thyroid, and her blood pressure is normalizing. This is someone getting younger as they get older, right?
Yes.
I love it.
She's doing great.
So next, high estrogen. So another, we'll say, cofactor of thyroid conditions can be a high estrogen. So this is where we look to infertility, menstrual, crazy PMS, painful dysmenorrhea, painful periods. What high estrogen can do is it builds up over time, and then even when we go into menopause, it can cause us severe symptoms of menopause, like night sweats, hot flashes, like crazy symptoms that you shouldn't actually be getting, but it's been a buildup over years. How does this happen? It happens throughout our diet, through even makeup. So what happens is xenoestrogens, these are basically industrial-made estrogens. They're fake estrogens. They actually, if you look at the left side of the screen, they basically take the receptor of where the real estrogen should go on the cell. So now you start to create more and more estrogen buildup in your blood flow. Then where they're also found in food, commercially raised hormone-produced animals. So these are things like cows. It is so important to buy quality meats that you're eating, because you eat what the animal ate. Whoa. So if a cow is fed corn or even some crazy other random foods to increase the bulk of the cow, you're increasing the inflammation. Then they get sick. They're injected with hormones. It's just a cascade of bad events when it comes to hormones, and we don't want to eat a bad cow. Next is pesticides. Yes, pesticides are something that are sprayed on our produce to make them last longer. So it's important to buy produce organic. I would encourage you to look up the Dirty Dozen. If you just look up the Dirty Dozen, that's because it gets costly, let's be real. So if you look up that and buy those things organic, those are the most highly sprayed foods of pesticides. So you know they're the worst. So you want to buy those organic. Some of those are raspberries, what else? Grapes, spinach, things that don't have, which is apples, green apples, yeah, any apples. Things that you eat the skin of, you might want to buy organic as well. High estrogen can be built up through cosmetics, shampoos, lotions, soap, toothpastes. BPAs, you've seen plastic bottles, you want to see that they say BPA free, and even doing hormone replacement therapy.
So high estrogen leads to an increased risk factor for breast cancer and ovarian cancer, also for blood clots and stroke. Again, the increased chance that you'll have a thyroid dysfunction, whether it is hyper or hypo, and infertility issues. And it can create more severe menopause symptoms as we age. So when we talk about toxic ingredients, we do want to talk about things to avoid when you are buying personal care products. So on your screen, you'll see a whole bunch of different words, but when those are all the words that you should look for when you are buying your healthcare ingredients or your bathroom.
In the list where the ingredients are listed, if you see fragrance, I wouldn't get it.
Yep. Parabens have been shown to affect hormone imbalances in men and women. Same with phthalates are actually a really bad thing, again, mostly in like nail polishes. Formaldehyde can actually be in a lot of your personal care products. Sodium lauryl sulfate is in toothpaste, but also in like hair products. So again, you'll want to look for these things when you flip over and read the ingredients list. These were all things that will affect your hormones, your estrogen, your testosterone levels, your progesterone levels, even your thyroid. So just make sure that you're looking into those.
So even if they hide them in there, how do we know? The best thing you can do is use technology to your advantage. One great website that I love is the the EWG website on the screen. They can tell you where to find good products. You can now scan things and it can tell you if it's good or bad and why. Here we have some great products on the screen for you that are good products. So like laundry detergent, when you're buying laundry detergent, at best make sure it's clear rather than blue or colored. The cleaning products down on the bottom, baking soda, vinegar, what brand is that? Dr. Bronner's. They always have great cleaning products. Then there's even sunscreen. Sunscreen is always riddled with chemicals. The Badger brand is a great brand for the summer, and always buying like kids stuff. They always have less toxic items in there as well.
Most of these items you can find locally, like at Whole Foods, CVS, Costco, or even buying them online at like Amazon or Vitacost.com is actually a really great resource as well.
Yeah. Another great app is going to be Think Dirty. Think Dirty is one of those things that you can scan in the store, and as you can see, it has a rating system. So on the left, the Herbal Essence Naked Volume Conditioner rated a 9, I believe, out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's one of the worst things for you to put on your hair. But the Acure Organics rated a 3. Green means go. So it tells you all the good things that are in it. What I like about it is like on the left one, it says fragrance, red, don't go there.
Yeah. It's a really great product. Like you said, that you can download an app and just scan it right there in the store so you know, okay, maybe I should put this item back. They won't have every single item on the shelves, but most of the time you'll at least be able to find that brand, if not that specific, like shampoo or conditioner, but maybe the Acure brand you'll be able to find in the app.
So when it comes to menopause, this is when you've had estrogen dominance over time. So let's go through what normal would be. If I were to say, through a normal cycle, as a woman, you have a 28-day cycle normally. Your estrogen's usually higher, and then upon ovulation, your progesterone will kick up and your estrogen will come down. Think of a teeter-totter. So when the progesterone comes up, it's telling your body whether it will have a pregnancy or a menstrual cycle. And then as soon as that happens, you have your cycle, progesterone slowly goes down, estrogen kicks back up to get rid of everything. So this is normal. What happens is, we talked about having estrogen just go higher and higher, and then as soon as estrogen stays high, it actually bullies progesterone, and progesterone stays low. And this is when women start to not get a period, amenorrhea, or infertility issues or painful cramping. And then we start to get cysts, we'll get fibroids, we'll get polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is PCOS. Because there's so much estrogen built up, your body has to put it somewhere. And then also endometriosis with uterine cells being outside of the uterus. So these are all inflammatory and high estrogen base. Now think about this. Now we hit menopause and estrogen is still high and progesterone is still low. So when you hit menopause, your hormones all kind of come down, they slide down. But if it's so high, it has a steeper level. But if it were lower to begin with, it wouldn't be so steep. So this is what makes our symptoms so aggressive, is they have such a hard fall to come down from. This is the intense hot flashes. This is the night sweats. And there's things that we can start doing now. And even if you're in menopause or perimenopause, that you can start doing right now. So let's start with diet. Excess sugar, we want to eliminate it. Caffeine, things that would encourage a hot flash. So hot things like jacuzzis, saunas, spicy foods, exactly.
Exercises. All of these things on the list are things that actually could potentially cause a hot flash or make your hot flashes a little bit worse. So yeah, you just want to try to minimize those things as much as possible.
Avoid those triggers. And stress. I highlighted stress because, we live in a stressful time now. We have to take so much more self-care. It's so important, which we'll talk about later. To balance hormones is women's hormone balance. This is great if you're in menopause. This is also great if you're dealing with some of the issues like high estrogen dominance. The only person I would say not to take this is someone who is actively trying to have kids or who's breastfeeding. What it does is it minimizes those endocrine disruptors, so those xenoestrogens. Has black cohosh in it. Black cohosh is something that's so important for women in menopause. Black cohosh is an herbal extract that lessens the symptoms of hot flashes, reduces sleep disturbances, and manages PCOS. The calcium D-glutarate is something that helps your liver detoxify excess estrogen out. The DIM, there is DIM in there, that also helps detox estrogen out. Chaste tree extract, it's hard to say, chaste tree extract, that may help rise your progesterone levels. So if you're rising your progesterone levels, you can decrease your estrogen as well. So this is something that will take the edge off of menopausal symptoms and also take the edge off PMS and help with fertility.
So some other things that you guys can do is drink more water. Getting half your weight in ounces every single day is the amount of water that you'll want to drink. A lot of us end up drinking actually less than we should. But the more water we have in our bodies, the better it's going to be just for not only our hormones, but just our cells in general. So stay hydrated,
in your
half your body weights and ounces,
spine.
And your vertebral and intervertebral discs as well.
And then getting those healthy fats, as Dr. J mentioned earlier, coconut oil, avocados. Avocados are also high in magnesium, which can help with cramping as well. Omega-3s, if you have joint pains, it's good to get these omega-3s and high healthy fats. And vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. That's also something you want to take with all these healthy fats as well.
And vitamin D is actually a precursor for your hormones, such as like testosterone, human growth hormone, and estrogen. So that's why it's important to get that vitamin D in.
Next, we're going to talk about stress. And stress and anxiety, it's huge. We all will experience it and at different levels at different times in our life. There's actually 3 different stages of stress. So the first one is when your cortisol, which is released by your adrenal glands, it's a hormone that's released. And this is like good stress, like when you're studying for an exam in school, if you're in college, if you're a new parent and you're getting the hang of things, it's your first kid. If you have a new transition in life, like your kids left for college and you're empty nesters, whatever the case is, this is more transitionary. It's temporary. It's short. This is where you exercise your resilience because you're adaptable. It helps you have a growth mindset, and it's good for your mind. So it's an area where you spike the cortisol for a short period of time, and then it slowly comes back down. Number 2 is when the cortisol it drops, but it doesn't, it stays high for a while. So this is an awareness of a health problem where your health starts to become a problem. This is where high blood pressure starts to get triggered, sleep disturbances, where you get weight gain issues. And then number 3, this is where you completely experience burnout. This is where you've been going and going and you haven't stopped. And your cortisol has been high for so long that it completely burns out. This is where cortisol actually has to go low because it has been high for so long that your body cannot keep up. This is when you, despite your efforts, try to rest and you just can't recover when you try to rest. So some main causes of stress, of this high stress, is burnout, grief, thyroid issues, even anemia. Some symptoms, like we mentioned, are going to be blood pressure issues, blood sugar issues, like high sugar, poor diet. So if we're eating crappy, we feel crappy. It's kind of a cycle. You want to eat more fermented foods to protect your gut and protect your cortisol levels, and then trying to stay away from sugar and carbs because it's more of an inflammatory response. So now, if we actually look at what your adrenal gland does on a daily basis, the very top picture is when you wake up, your adrenal should send cortisol spiking. Cortisol is good for you. There's a reason it's in your body. Yeah. It's there to make other hormones. It's there to protect you. So you want increased cortisol at the beginning of the day, just like that bell curve, and then slowly decreasing at night. You want your cortisol levels down at night so that you can sleep. When you start to develop an adrenal fatigue, or like we said, stage 2, where it stays high a little too long, you actually have trouble waking up. Your adrenals spike your cortisol later in the day, and then this is where you have trouble going to sleep because it's still so high. And then complete burnout is where you spike during the night, and then throughout the day you're just constantly tired. You actually never quite kicks in. So there is testing for this.
A simple at-home test that you could do to test your adrenal gland function is just to take your axillary or your armpit temperatures. Every hour, I would do it for a full day. You want to see those temperature range in there from anywhere from the 97.8 to the 98.2. It should fluctuate throughout the day again. Mm-hmm. But you shouldn't have huge jumps or swings where it's like 96 degrees up to like 98.8 degrees back down to like 95 degrees. Like, you don't want those huge swings. If your temperature doesn't hit that normal range or you're getting those huge swings, then that is potentially an indication of hypoadrenal function, or like your adrenal glands are not functioning properly.
So how do we fix it?
Some things that you can do to decrease stress. The first one I'm going to talk about is in the corner, some breathing exercises.
Teach
one of my
me.
favorite things, just because it's super simple, meaning you can do this, my favorite time to practice is like in the car, but you can do it even when you're standing in a group, driving your car, whatever it is. It's super simple if you can count, because I feel like I always get this wrong.
Okay, I'll count on my fingers.
What it is you're going to take like a couple seconds of a breath in. I say 3 to 4 seconds typically. You're going to hold it for 3 to 4 seconds. Exhale 3 to 4 seconds. Hold that for 3 to 4 seconds, and then breathe back in. So you just kind of think in
I've done this walking
box.
the dog.
There you go. All right.
It's a box.
It's a box.
In, hold, out, hold.
That's right. So you guys ready to try this?
Okay, ready?
We're just going to take a few seconds, and we're going to do, like just a full round?
3 seconds.
3 seconds, full round. So we're going to start with your inhale for 3. Exhale 3. And hold that for 3. Perfect. So you guys just did 1 round of box breathing. You would just keep doing that for just a couple rounds. It doesn't have to be long, but that can actually help you decrease stress levels in that moment. So whatever it is, whether it's an argument or if somebody cut you off while you were driving, just take a moment to breathe.
Breathing helps you and those around you.
Dr. T, another great one though is laughter and humor. So why don't you?
Okay. I got a joke. You ready? All right. What did the sushi say to the bee?
I have no idea.
You know, what's up, bee? So get your corny friends to tell you some corny jokes. Make sure you laugh at them because it's healthy for you. It's healthy for them.
It also helps boost your immune system. So we were talking about immune boosting things at the very beginning of this. laughter is one of the best things that you can do for your immune system as well.
Decrease stress, increase immunity. You're fighting on the world. Look, that's us. What are we doing there?
Oh,
this picture is our team.
We went to work out. So working out is really also another great way to decrease your stress levels. So grab a friend or grab a couple friends and go hit the gym.
Shout out to F45. We did a group workout there. That's what the picture's from, F45, which stands for Functional 45. It's a HIIT workout for 45 minutes. HIIT workouts are really good for balancing hormones. They decrease the cortisol levels when you sleep, and they increase them where they're supposed to be during the day.
Yep.
But it's a really good stress reliever. HIIT workouts are one of the best workouts we find to regulate hormones and decrease weight. So if you're having trouble with weight gain, you eat grass for breakfast, you've done all the things, definitely try an interval training. We suggest F45 because it's fun if you live in Winston-Salem. And then we also have suggestions like community down here, eating over a table. I know we do that as a team. Some other families do that as well. It's just so important to have community and connection with one another. And what better time to do it over some good food?
Truth.
That's why people love Thanksgiving, Dr. J.
Oh my gosh, I love it for the food, for sure.
And then another one of my favorites are an Epsom salt bath. I absolutely love Epsom salt baths. They're a great way to decrease stress. They're also a great way to help your muscles. At the end of the day, your muscles may be inflamed. If you have any inflammation or pain, low back pain, joint pain, getting in an Epsom salt bath, a nice hot Epsom salt bath, will help decrease the inflammation, decrease that joint pain, and it's really good to stabilize your cells with the salt.
Also, just to let you guys know, if you are new or beginning to work out and you're like, man, 45 minutes sounds pretty intimidating, because it is, let's be real. We do offer some exercises, I would say, on our Instagram page.
Yes.
So every couple Fridays,
check it out.
I'll shoot a video that has just how to do some workout moves, a few simple moves for you guys to do at home if you're into at-home workouts.
Our Instagram is Twin City Health. That's our handle, right? It's called
That's our handle.
It's called a handle. All right, so vitamin D deficiency is very common. You've heard of it, like back in the day, rickets was a big thing with vitamin D deficiency in children. This is where we had malfunction or misshapen bones forming in children. It's not as common anymore, which is good. People are getting out in the sunshine. Sunshine is the best way you can get vitamin D. I wish we could be out in the sun way more as a society. Other things that can happen when you're deficient in vitamin D, like you see in the iceberg, is osteoporosis. This also happens more so in women who are going through a menopausal change. Chronic pain, you just can't get to the root cause of the pain. Some cancers, there's a lot of hormonal cancers associated with decrease of vitamin D, such as a lot of women hormone cancer, like ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, breast cancer, fatigue. You definitely want to take vitamin D if you're feeling fatigued. Problems with pregnancy, multiple sclerosis. There are studies that show someone with MS is likely to have vitamin D deficiency. Depression and anxiety, mental illnesses, infections. We already talked about how vitamin D is really good at fighting infection and decreasing the duration of your sickness. So vitamin D is an amazing vitamin.
So the roles that vitamin D plays in your body, it actually will help with calcium absorption, so it helps with those bones, building strong bones, along with vitamin K as well. And then it actually, again, is great for the immune system, helps build that up and make you stronger when it comes to your immunity. It will help with mood regulation, and it can actually help with some weight loss as well. But deficiency of vitamin D, like how does that happen? And it's because there are certain risk factors that maybe some of you guys do or do not know about. So things like having a darker skin tone. Actually, elderly people tend to lose vitamin D more, or not absorb it as well.
Yeah.
Being overweight or obese, not eating much dairy or even fish, living far from the equator and getting only a little bit of sun. Or staying indoors or wearing long sleeves outdoors all the time where you're not actually getting sunlight.
Further away from the equator, like Alaska. So you would definitely want to supplement in those cases. There is a difference. If you've ever heard of vitamin D2 and vitamin D3, there is a difference. Vitamin D2 is the one on the left, which means it's man-made. It came in a bottle. It also isn't as easily absorbed by your body. Vitamin D3 is easier for your body to absorb. Again, that's from the sun. And you do want to stay away from like fortified cereals. They started putting vitamin D in cereals. That is still vitamin D2. But other ways you can get 3 are eggs and animal products like grass-fed beef.
Mushrooms.
Cremini, remember cremini mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms. Mushrooms are a great way of vitamin D as well.
And so when you do take vitamin D, you just want to make sure it's a vitamin D3. And then we also put that chart up there for vitamin D levels. You do want to be in an optimal vitamin D level. So typically if you get your vitamin D tested, they'll say the range is anywhere from 30 to 100. You want to be closer to that 100 end range just because that's where you can actually really boost your immune system and start fighting off potential cancers and heart disease. So just make sure that you're getting a good quality vitamin D3 supplement.
Think of it this way. Like the other docs will say you should be at 30, level 30. And that's like the low end. But as soon as you go below 30, it's, damage control. So you want to have that buffer. So why not be between the 50 and the 70, like you said? That way, if you ever get sick and your blood vitamin D levels go down, you have that buffer to where you're still activating healthy immune cells. Osteoporosis, this is something that happens in elderly women after menopause. This is why we're more prone to hip fractures or fractures in general, falls. So we have to be careful. Ways to prevent, or even if you have osteoporosis, is a few things. Being aware that it happens with hormonal changes, so monitoring hormones, your estrogen and progesterone levels, even after menopause, making sure they're decreasing, and then eating healthy fats like the avocados, coconut oil. Taking vitamin D, what we just talked about. Vitamin D is what shuttles the calcium from your bloodstream to your bones. So the vitamin D, think about it as it's a car, and it's having all its calcium friends get in the car. Come on, carpool to the bone to make it stronger. And it's also awesome to have vitamin K as well, vitamin K2 for your bones. Vitamin K2 plays an implementing role in strengthening the actual cortices of your bones as well. Osteoporosis, a way to prevent it, or if you have it, a way to strengthen your bones is also strength training. So getting some maybe 3 to 5 pound weights, doing some bicep curls, doing some maybe push-ups, starting with the wall and then working your way down to the floor. Other great things for osteoporosis exercises would be yoga. That incorporates breathing as well. Body weight exercises. If your knees are okay to do squats, do some squats. Things you don't want to do in exercising if you have osteoporosis is anything with like jumping, like don't do jumping jacks. Don't do twisting, like excessive twisting. Don't do tons of twisting. Just want to do slow and controlled.
The great thing with osteoporosis that you can do is actually weight-bearing exercises to put stress on your bones. And when you stress your bones, your body is actually going to help rebuild them. It's kind of like when you stress your muscles, right? Like you're using a weight to stress your muscles that actually helps tear down your muscles so that your body can build it back up stronger. It's the same thing that happens with your bones when you're doing weight-bearing exercises. So once the push-ups might get easier or the body weight squats get a little bit easier, maybe start going to the gym to lift some weights, or just get some weights that you can do at home to start stressing those bones and improving your osteoporotic scores, your bone density scores.
So knowing the cause is important. Some causes of osteoporosis are going to be the low estrogen levels. That's why menopause age is when we lose estrogen. Low vitamin D, long-term medications as well, malnutrition, and depression. So being aware of these things and managing them and even coming out of it.
Another thing that leads to a decrease in energy is physical inactivity. So actually, 60% of adults in the U.S. are overweight or obese, and about 31 million adults age 50 or older are inactive, meaning that they get no physical activity beyond that of like daily living, daily chores, and just walking around and stuff like that, which is insane.
So we've got to get out there and move. Movement is life. When we have low levels of physical activity, they can contribute to higher levels of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and obesity. The cost that's associated with this is an annual $117 billion of healthcare costs every single year towards these things listed. Even just walking for 30 minutes can help you speed up your metabolism. Walking for 30 minutes, then it makes you drink more water. So drinking more water. The best thing to lose weight, if you're truly trying to lose weight, and what's called your storage fat, which is called brown fat, is strength training. It's going to be better than cardio in this stage where you're trying to lose weight more, because you're stressing and you're burning up more calories and you're burning that brown fat.
So let's talk about the benefits of exercise, Dr. T. There are actually a lot of great benefits to exercise. I think we all know this, that like movement is important, like you said earlier. But exercise can improve your sleep, improve cognitive ability, can decrease your risk of dementia, improve bone health, as we talked about. One of the coolest things that you do when you exercise is you actually increase the production of brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF for short. And it causes new neurons to grow in your brain, which creates more plasticity within your brain, which means it keeps it younger. Your brain becomes more active and you're able to learn more.
Wait, so my nerves can regrow?
Yes, nerves regrow.
Your nerves can regrow when you exercise. How amazing is that? That means better memory.
Absolutely. Better memory, better focus. It actually boosts your mood, as we talked about earlier, and it can actually increase your attention span as well and decrease pain. Stress, so as we talked about earlier in our bodies, some stress is good, but some stress, too much stress, I should say, is bad. And excessive stress can actually decrease that BDNF factor. Whoa, yikes. So all that to say, our lives can be pretty demanding. Like most of us need to be able to pay attention and have energy when we go through life, be able to run around and chase kids and all these things. So it's important to start moving and getting out there and getting active because of all of the benefits of exercise. Like you said, as little as 30 minutes a day can really improve all of these things. But here's some other ways that you can start boosting your metabolism. Eating spicy foods, which I don't think you love spicy foods
I
either.
do not
definitely
like
don't love
spicy foods.
But
They do make me sweat.
They definitely make me sweat. Like,
do you know why that is?
Why?
Because they create this thermogenic response in your body, and it actually heats up and increases your fat cells to burn fat. It increases your metabolism 4 to 5%, I believe, when you eat them. And what that means is it's just your body's moving at a faster rate. Your cells are moving at a faster rate, burning up more fat. And then green tea, now I do like this one.
Yeah.
I like to drink green tea and bedtime teas. I'm drinking more tea now. But green tea increases your metabolism, and it also has been shown to increase fat burning cells by 10 to 17%. Green teas are lower in calories, and they do have caffeine. The caffeine and a flavonoid called catechins in them they're both antioxidants, and the catechin is an antioxidant, and they help break down excess fat and increase energy. So it just helps you get through the day. It's also good if you're doing something like studying or something like reading, that you need that mental energy as well.
So we'll talk about drinking more water, which I already talked about earlier to help balance hormones and so forth. But drinking more water, specifically cold water, if you drink really, really cold water, which I personally don't love.
Hurts my teeth.
It hurts my teeth too. But cold water, because your body has to regulate its temperature to bring you back to like a normal body temperature, it can actually help you burn more calories. Another trick is to drink more water about half an hour before you eat to help you have that fuller feeling. So then, therefore, when you do eat, you might not eat as much food. So again, try to drink your half your body weight in ounces of water, and then probably about 30 minutes before a meal, chug a good glass or two of water, and that should help you eat less food.
Back to those HIIT workouts, those high intensity, short duration. This is where you're going as hard and as fast as you can for like 20 to 35 seconds, and then you're resting for like 10 to 15 seconds, and then going on and doing it again. Those are those HIIT workouts that help, like I said, regulate your hormones, but in turn doing that, they're going to increase your metabolism. So you're going to be burning fat up to 48 hours even after you do one of those HIIT training workouts.
Another way that you can boost metabolism is one of our new products called Metabolic Burn, which is really fantastic. I've been trying it, and it's really interesting. It really does, like Dr. T was saying, when she eats spicy foods, like her body just starts to warm up. When I do metabolic burn, and so you're supposed to do 2 tablets in the morning or 2 capsules in the morning and then 2 again at lunchtime. And when I take them and then I come into work and I start like moving around a little bit, like I can tell my body and my metabolism is revving up because I am starting to sweat way more, or at least I just feel very, very warm. So some things in it that will help you burn fats are things like the green tea extract, which we already talked about a little bit earlier, but the catechins is what I always say. Catechins in it to help burn more fat and release fatty acids from the bloodstream. Yep. The Garcinia extract, Garcinia cambodia, was something that was in the news, I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, but there's definitely research out there that shows that it has been shown to, again, break down the fatty acids, help you release more fats into the bloodstream so that your body can use those fat cells. And then same with the L-carnitine. It's actually an amino acid that has a role in the fatty acid oxidation process, and it can also improve your exercise performance. So metabolic burn is now available.
Mm-hmm. We definitely suggest taking this if you're beginning to work out, if you're working out. It's definitely something that will complement the movements that you're doing. It is not one of those quick fixes if you're sedentary.
It's not. But I was also going to say, if you are also one of those people who has been eating right and you're exercising and you've hit that plateau that we all hit where it's just like for a week or two you stay at the same weight, this might be something that helps push you over the edge just a little bit more. Or if you aren't already doing HIIT workouts, that's another thing that you can add in that will potentially help you break that weight loss plateau. Ooh,
cold showers. Burr.
Man, if you guys have ever tried a cold shower, you know that it's just uncomfortable.
It takes time.
It definitely takes
practice. Even to be in the cold shower for like a certain amount of time. I'm literally counting on my fingers like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Like how many seconds can I get to? How many minutes can I get to anytime I try a cold shower?
So cold shower, there are some great benefits to it. So this is another thing you can do to boost your immune system. But along with that, there are definitely some other benefits as well. So reducing your stress levels is going to be one of the first things.
I was going to say it increases your alertness. It also helps you retain information so you can be, with your alertness, you'll have better memory as well.
Increasing your immune system, as we talked about earlier with all the herbs and the supplements that you can do and the laughter. Taking a cold shower is another way to actually help pump up your white blood cells and have you have more white blood cell count, which again is an immune booster.
Increasing willpower.
Oh goodness, yes.
Just counting on your fingers, like if I can get 5 more seconds, or can I go a little bit colder? I know we did a challenge a while back, maybe last year, where one of our patients, she said, "Oh man, the cold shower was the easiest part for me." I said, "It wasn't for me."
Definitely not.
But it definitely, each day I'll try, if I do the cold showers, good to do them consistently, and then try and just add a few more seconds on every time you try them out.
And then the last part is weight loss. So again, it actually increases your metabolic rate and stimulates the generation of brown fat in your body.
Yep.
So brown fat, there's brown fat and there's white fat in your body. Brown fat is a specific type of fat tissue that turns and generates energy by burning calories in your body. So cold showers are really effective, or cold thermogenesis, meaning maybe you want to try an ice bath, I don't know, or a cold pool. Those will also help you with weight loss and actually decreasing the inflammation in your body.
Yeah. Next is sleep. Sleep is so important. I'm sure you would agree. Sleep can affect your brain, your weight, your health, and your safety. By affecting your brain, if you do not sleep enough, it can increase the Johns Hopkins study showed that it can increase the risk of dementia, depression, anxiety, irritability, and it actually ages your brain the less you sleep.
As far as weight goes, so it can increase your craving for salty or sweet foods, and so then you'll have a higher level of your hunger hormone, which is called your ghrelin or your gremlin, and then lower your levels for the appetite control hormone, which is leptin.
Gas and brakes.
Yeah.
Health, it can affect your health by nearly 3 times the risk of type 2 diabetes. It can lessen your immune system by your natural killer cells. I mean, it's just in the name. The natural killer cells are what seek out bacteria and viruses and actually kill them and tell your white blood cells to kill them. It can increase the risk of high blood pressure and 48% increased risk of developing heart disease one day. And lastly, 3 times more likely to catch a cold. This is decreasing your immune system.
So that study also showed that 1 in 25 adults has fallen asleep behind the wheel as well. So not getting enough sleep is definitely affecting more than you might realize. So the National Sleep Foundation recommends a specific number of hours for every stage in life. I think they actually recently redid some of these hours, but here I highlighted just the hours for the younger adults through older adults. Minimum of 7 hours and all the way up to 9 hours is what is recommended to be good for you.
Oh, to be a newborn, 14 to 17 hours. When you're sleeping at night, everything in your system down regulates, like your digestion system. You don't need to be digesting while you're sleeping. But what's really cool is your nervous system is alive, well, and awake. And what it's doing is it's cleaning itself when you sleep. Your CSF fluid is pumping with every breath, and that's the fluid that surrounds your brain and your spinal cord. So when you sleep, you're actually detoxing your body, you're washing your nervous system in such a good way, and that's when you can help increase your memory just by getting enough sleep. So super important. We're going to talk about ways to help.
So some ways to help your sleep. You can actually start with a cup of tea every single night, chamomile tea, or they have specific teas that are like bedtime teas.
Yes.
And that's a good way to start winding down. And I say do that roughly like an hour before you want to fall asleep.
Some of my favorite brands of teas that are organic teas, because you want to buy organic so they're not spread with pesticides, are traditional medicinals. And then another new brand I just came across that's organic and fair trade is Pukka, Pukka. And they have an awesome bedtime tea that I've been drinking every night, and it does just help relax you. Other things you can start doing in your routine is set a routine. If you don't have one, set one. If you don't have a bedtime, try your best to find a good bedtime, like a 30-minute window for you to start going to bed or getting ready for bed every night. I try to stick around 9:30 because I wake up sometimes at 5:30. So getting those hours in is important. And then when you set it, be intentional and try to keep it. Give yourself some time. Give yourself about a week to try and get into this new habit.
You can also use like a lavender pillow spray sometimes. So that smell of lavender is actually very relaxing. Or you can add lavender oils to a Epsom salt bath per se at night. That might help you just relax and calm down so that you can get into a deeper sleep. You can also stay away from screens. So like TVs, your phone, your computer, that blue light actually is very stimulating to you, so it can keep your brain awake and going. So again, try to stay away from screens for like an hour, maybe even 2 hours if you have trouble falling asleep. Stay away from a screen. So if you're trying to go to bed at like 9:30, 7:30 would be your cutoff time for looking at a screen.
It's hard, but try it.
It is so hard. Yeah.
Reading books is helpful. And then my favorite is a cool room. Yep. Typically, you want to keep your room between 60 and 67 degrees no matter what time of the year it is, because like I mentioned earlier, your body is down regulating, so it doesn't need to be as warm as it does during the day when you're awake. So it just cools down for everything to down regulate and your nervous system to wash itself. EMF. What is that? That is electromagnetic frequency. Like Dr. Day mentioned, going to sleep, keeping your eyes away from a blue screen like a computer or phone. There's a few things listed here that are sources of EMF. TVs, computers, the phone, plugged in clocks, Wi-Fi routers, fans, extension cords. All these things are electrical magnetic fields, and they interrupt your brain flow. They interrupt your rest, so you actually don't feel rested when so much of this is going on in one room. I also have pictured these cell phone towers. If you live near cell phone towers, they have EMF blockers for houses. Yep. There's also things you can get like EMF blocker glasses when you're looking at a computer. Some of our team members have those. Yep. There's also things you can do like a timer you can buy for your Wi-Fi system. You're not using the internet at night when you're sleeping, so you can set the timer to turn off the Wi-Fi or that surge protector that it's plugged into at a certain time every night, and then click it back on at a certain time in the morning, so that you're just diminishing the amount of time you're exposed to it. Other things, are keeping your phone out of your bedroom. I have been on the search for an alarm clock because I know a lot of us use our phones as an alarm clock. So just getting it away from your head, from your bedside, and even getting it out of your room, leave it charging in the kitchen, something like that. These are ways you can control that. And a salt lamp neutralizes the air from EMF as well.
So these are some things that you might want to consider adding into your bedroom. Those glasses are the blue light blocking glasses. So again, a couple of people have them in the office, so that way they don't just continuously stimulate your brain, and that you can fall asleep easier at night. The salt lamp that Dr. T mentioned, diffusers, again, adding lavender to your diffuser at night might help just relax your body. And then getting more plants that produce clean oxygen, like that snake plant that you have.
Through the air, snake plants can take out pollutants of the air. They also regulate CO2, carbon dioxide that we breathe out. Other things like formaldehyde, something called xylene, toluene, these are things that are given off of products that we buy or even the mattresses that we have that we sleep on. A snake plant can diffuse the air from these pollutants that are actually in our indoor air.
So we can make our bedrooms just a little bit healthier every single night for us.
Dr. J, are you excited?
I'm excited. So after all that information that you learned, because it was a ton, I feel like you guys just learned a lot. But we do want to challenge you in this time. A lot of us might be in a slump when it comes to our health, or maybe we're just not excited. So I just challenge you actually to change your mindset and to start moving, to start doing a few things. So here's what the challenge looks like.
We're going to do it with you.
We're doing it with you. The first part is getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, because you know the harmful effects that it can have, but we also know the benefits of sleep. So again, challenge you. I have that app on my iPhone that's like bedtime. So every single night my phone goes off at like 8:45 that says if you want to sleep a full like 8 hours, you need to start getting ready for bed. So setting an alarm for yourself, maybe like you said, getting that nighttime routine, like, hey, 8:45, I'm going to start getting ready for bed, and then by 9:30 I'll be in bed.
Yeah, start writing at maybe end that time. You can start writing a gratitude journal, just things about the day, so forth. Next thing included in our 24-day challenge is going to be taking your daily dose of vitamin D. If we're going to be doing that every day with you, I currently take 10,000 IUs a day to be preventative against colds and viruses and bacteria. We're just coming out of winter season, so definitely want to boost your immune system and regulate your hormones.
As we talked about earlier, again, exercises or the benefits of exercise are super important just to get moving every single day. So it doesn't have to be high intensity workouts or anything like that, but I just challenge you to move for a minimum of 30 minutes a day. Even if that looks like maybe at nighttime your kids go to bed, but you have a few minutes to watch TV or do something for yourself, maybe just moving your feet while you're in the kitchen or while you're watching TV, you're just going to step in place. That can be super beneficial for you. So challenge you to get moving every day.
Cleaning up your diet. Pick something to start with. You don't have to do all the things listed, like eliminating gluten, sugar, and adding in the fats, but start something. So this week, I'm going to try my best not to have as much sugar. I'm personally going to start weeding out gluten. So pick something that is challenging, but work with it throughout the challenge, and you'll notice the effects, and your body you'll have more energy. You won't be able to hold on to fat as much, but pick something for nutrition.
The point of the challenge isn't to be perfect either. We don't expect you to do all of these things every single day, but we're hoping that you strive to get most of them in every single day. At least one of them, but maybe 2 or 3 of them that you're going to be doing consistently every single day. We also have some optional things for you guys as well, because I figured it might be a little mean to challenge you to cold shower every single day. But an optional cold shower, you can either do 30 seconds on, or you can try, this is something I started trying with myself. I would do 10 seconds of very, very hot, 10 seconds of super cold, and I do that like 3 to 4 times when I'm showering. Always end on cold, by the way.
So try that out if you want to be like Dr. J. I'm just kidding. The cold shower, if you're someone who's like really trying to lose weight or you're struggling with menopause symptoms like night sweats and hot flashes, I would try that optional the optional cold shower. The next optional one is Immunotone Plus. That is a supplement we talked about at the very beginning. If you're someone who's you've been experiencing a lot of colds through the winter seasons, a lot of allergies, this is something you want to get on right now. We've currently been taking it the past week since we've gotten it, trying it out. It's an amazing one. So get on the Immuno Plus every day if you're someone who wants to just boost your immune system in this challenge.
And then the last thing is the metabolic burn. So if you're someone who, like I said, it kind of hit that plateau in your workouts, you're really not losing as much weight as you want, this is going to be what you want to start doing to try to get through that plateau and that hump. Or if you're just really slumping when it comes to your energy, you're hitting that midday fatigue where it's like 1 p.m. and you're falling asleep at your desk and you need something, the metabolic burn is going to be what you should add into your challenge. Again, all the optional things, you don't have to do all three. Just pick one or two of the three if you'd like to add those into your challenge. And again, it's not for perfection, but it is for change, because we believe that in the next 24 days, you can absolutely start to change your habits.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
We'll see you next time.